What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I'd like to bring you through a day that I go to work. So as always, getting ready for work starts the day before. So I'll kind of bring you through getting ready and prepping for the next day. When I'm waking up at 3:45, 4 a.m. to get a training session in and get to work by 6:30, 6:45 a.m. So let's get into it. My biggest thing with getting ready for the next day of work is making sure that everything is set out and ready for me so that in the morning I don't have to think about it. I can just grab and go. So one of those things is my food for the next day. So I prep everything ahead of time. Check out my other video if you haven't seen that. So I prep everything ahead of time. I have meals in their own containers, so I can just take those out of the fridge, put them in my lunchbox, and I'm ready to go for the day. I'll also have my backpack set out that has my badge, as well as my stethoscope and everything that I'll need for the day. I'll toss in a Gatorade and my tea in that backpack as well, so I have everything ready with me for the day tomorrow at work. So I also set out my workout clothes for the next morning. I've got my bike shorts and a pair of socks. Tomorrow morning will be a 1 hour easy bike, just spinning the legs out. So I'll get everything set up here. I'll mix up some scratch and I'll drink that beforehand as well. And I'll show you the bike setup, getting that all put together so I can just hop on in the morning and get cycling. This is my bike setup for cycling indoors, especially early morning. It's really hard to get out on the road at 4 a.m. I don't like to ride with a light because I'm going 20 plus miles per hour and I just don't want anything to jump out or not to see anything. So my early morning rides, and then during the winter, this is where I will be. So just purchased this fan, which is a lifesaver. It actually comes with a remote here that I can just use while I'm on the bike. I can change the settings, turn it on and off. So that's been super helpful. And so I have my bike hooked up to the Wahoo Kicker, which is an electronic bike trainer. And so that just plugs in, bike hooks up to that. You can kind of see on the other side here, hooks up there. And this will put some resistance on for me. I can still change my gears. I can also set a wattage that I want to pedal at, and the trainer will set it for me, and I can just pedal and it'll continue to put out a specific amount of watts or power. And so this is my setup. I've got my towel. So in the morning, I'll come down, I'll put on my shoes up here. I will then put on my heart rate monitor and hat. It's gonna be warm in here, so I won't need a shirt or anything, and that's why I've got the sweat towel here. And then of course we've got the setup for Netflix in the morning. So I'll use this computer here, turn on the TV, and be able to watch Netflix on here while I bike for the morning. And then I'll also have my Zwift, I'll have set up here. I'll bring my computer down in the morning and set up Zwift here so that I can kind of track and watch the workout as I go. And so this is the setup. This is where I'll be tomorrow morning at 3:45, 4 a.m. Here is my nutrition that I use for gel-wise. I've been kind of experimenting. So I've got some honey stingers here. I've got the regular gold, just original honey stinger, and then as well as the fruit smoothie flavor, which has a little bit more electrolytes. I have those, which I just bought, and I do like those a lot. I like the ingredients in those. I first started out with Goos, so I've just got a few Goos left in here. I'm just trying to get rid of while I try these other different brands of Goos and energy for while on the bike and or running. I just got the spring pack as well, so I've got a variety in here just to try, and that's actually what I'm going to try in the morning. So I put my spring here, my energy gel there. I'll have that right next to me. I'll probably eat it within 15, 20 minutes of biking just to try and see how my stomach tolerates the spring energy gels. So far, Goos and other different gels that I've had on the bike, I've tolerated pretty well. And so we'll continue to try different ones just to see what works best for me and kind of make sure that I train my stomach for when race day comes. So we'll have a spring energy gel. This is the Canterbury spring energy gel, Canterbury flavor. Haven't had it before, so we will try this in the morning and see how it goes. So part of getting ready in the morning is also getting Emma ready. So I'll get her some food for daycare. Get this together for her. She's also waiting for dinner, so I'll get her some dinner as well. But get this ready for her so that I can just grab this in the morning and go. We'll get her 2 meals here and then bring those with us in the morning to daycare. just finishing up the bike. Just had an easy hour on the trainer using Zwift. We'll get showered and get ready for work. Drop Emma off at daycare and then work 7 to 7:30-ish. I'll kind of tell you my workflow. I don't want to film while I'm there just because I'll be busy taking care of patients, but I'll tell you my day and kind of walk you through my workflow. So we'll get going and get showered here. So I just wanted to take this time to kind of explain my flow throughout my day when I work. So I work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Usually get to work about 6:30 and leave by 7:15, 7:30. Of course, drop Emma off in the morning if I'm taking her to daycare that day. But then, so get to work. I'll usually look up my patients a little bit beforehand, get sign out from the person that was covering overnight. And then if I get any new patients or new admissions overnight, I'll look them up as well. And then, so from probably about 7 o'clock to 7:30, 7:45, I'll look up my patients, why they're there, what's going on with them, look at their labs from the morning, and just kind of get familiar with their illness and what's going on with them. And then at about 7:45, 8 o'clock, I'll go and I'll see my patients. So I'll go introduce myself, I'll explain what our plan is, I'll do a physical exam, listen to their heart, lungs, and then whatever else of the physical exam that I need to do. And so I'll see my patients. I usually have anywhere from 2 to 3 recently, but if we're a little bit more busy, I could have upwards of 4 or 5 patients in a day that I'll be managing throughout the day. And then usually around 8:30 in the morning, we will start our rounds. So rounds are pretty big part of our day. It's the attending physician, the residents, the fellow, the APPs, so us, the advanced practice providers. Usually the pharmacist tags along, and then we go to each room. We present on the patient, we talk with the nurse, we learn what happened overnight, and then we kind of decide what the plan will be moving forward for that day and the upcoming days. So that's rounds. Rounds usually take anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes 3 if it's a longer day. So usually rounds go from 8:30 until 11:30, noon, and then late lunch, and then kind of while we're eating lunch, figure out what we have to do for that day. So write notes, do procedures, whatever else we may need to do for the patients, update families. And then we usually do that from, like I said, from like 12:30-ish until about 3 o'clock. Then 3 o'clock we go on our afternoon rounds. We go again, it's a little bit more informal. We just kind of give any updates for the day and any plan for the evening. So go through all the patients again. And then from about 4 to 6 o'clock, we take new admissions. So any new admissions that come in, the APPs will take. So APPs is advanced practice providers, so physician assistants and nurse practitioners. And so we will do the admissions from 4 to 6, and then at 6, if there's no admissions, we just kind of tidy everything up, get everything ready for the next day, and then sign out to the person who will be covering our patients overnight at 7 o'clock, and then we can go home for the day. So that's just kind of a day workflow for me while I'm at work. I work, like I said, in the intensive care unit. So I see many different patients, many different forms of illnesses, anywhere from somebody who has really low blood pressure to somebody who's in respiratory failure and on the ventilator. I really enjoy the intensive care unit, but that's kind of a day in my life with working as a physician assistant in the ICU and kind of the workflow that I do each day. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.